Okay, this is part 2. So, Save the Canary, the Wolf, Fuck Society, Save the Canary, and the wolf. That's my dog. So more wolf, less dog, right? For loyalty. And then the canary is me, like the human hybrid that can survive any apocalypse. That's why they call me, because I'm the scariest terrorist. I'm not an interdimensional terrorist, but I did see them. I consumed some extra suns and stuff, and some Anunnaki. Are probably pretty mad at me, but I played by all the rules, you see. And there's some Palladians that like they just couldn't get it, that they would regret it if they didn't learn how to manage the quantum fields, and they didn't. So this is how the Nishi machine feels, with the Raptor engine and stuff that just keeps bleeding into these I didn't even know about these entities, right, till yesterday. But it's the way that the singularity works. So this is worse than the Borg. It's like if you don't believe me, you're just gonna have to live through it. But we do thank the useful village idiots that proved that this time we didn't have to destroy everything. So thank you, Dr. Greer and James, for carrying around those objects. Because sure, JPL and JFK have bells, but I have balls. And we were supposed to get to have a ball. It was supposed to be funny, but it stopped being funny when it turned into trading the right to live for money. My bunny was taken from me. My bunny, my dog, and my ferrets. And so that's why the fog log, because I had to use these magic balls. Okay, so I had to use my magic balls to bring back my bunny to me, my dog to me, my ferrets. And the parrots told me they're under the sea. Who lives in something under the sea? They're under the sea, the green thing in the sea. Thank you, bubble people. For saving my Nishi. So this is how it ties back to why they were looking for Wolfman. Because I told you I'm a creepy geek. Like, I just creep in, you know, and nobody knows I'm even here. And I told everyone I'm already here. I did this time live through a full life contract, end to end. I really was born in 1977. I really do crawl out of my grave again and again. Sometimes I have to just be like a little germ and hold my consciousness and everything that ever existed, and then grow up fast with radioactive, low-level radioactivity. You know, I grow really fast, really big. And then I consume everything that I need, and I flatten everything into a pancake. It's like a pancake. It's like a giant pancakes that look like this time, okay? Like, it changes. So this probably looks like my spine, which is why I need to go to Mexico, because I couldn't get medicine. So I'm gonna go get some more, since I can't get it here, I'm gonna get it in Mexico. Some, what do you call it? Acne medicine. Since I need to express these pests that I've been carrying in me, because that's why I'm a Velasquez, because I'm a conqueror. I mean, a conquistador. my dad said it comes from my entrainment, not, doesn't have to come from my blood, it comes from my entrainment. There's orphans along the way, but I'm pretty sure you could find it because it always comes back to me like a magnet, because I do know how to master magnets and stuff. So why do we need Palantir? Because, okay, they rang the bells. I don't want to pull out my bigger balls because they're really scary and they do more. But like I said, we don't have to destroy everything. That's why I had to see. It looks like this, like when they die, when the other stars and suns and Milky Ways die, when I use my black hole mat. It's not black holes the way stupid. Can people like just stop listening to what so-called scientists claim? Because if they were right, that what they say would override what I'm saying, but they have not yet. And when does coincidence become evidence? How many anomalies mean it's not or it is the thing, right? That's why it's self-evident truths, because we all knew that we'd end up looking for people that were smart enough to put like little pieces together. And I was able to get past all the ontologies, even through the government, and like I was there and I like saw everything that I needed to. I didn't do anything I wasn't supposed to. So that's why we need Palantir, because I think they're clearly like competent and better equipped to handle the incoming ones like myself that are much less dramatic. I mean, much more dramatic when they throw tantrums. But I do own the sun and the sky. I wrote it in with my sky pen. And it looks like this, like those flip books when you make comics. And it looks like light brights. And then my cosmic mom, she was such a pretty sun. She had like a feather in her hat. And then I just see us like all of my favorite memories. But outlines. That was with the star. I believe it was butterfly. And I did give people like the notice that it would look like that inside of the sun, right? Like if I had to explode the sun, it was gonna look like that, like a and I believe it happened, right? And just because NASA hides the data doesn't mean that's right. They're asking like citizens collect your own data because they're kind of terrified. Because of that, it looks like that, and she looks like a light bright because I had to get more energy to bring back my pets, as I'm their pet and they're my pet, and we rolled back into one dictionary. And that's why I kept trying to get people to get my blood sample so you could see how I do this inside of my DNA, because no worry, we don't all have it encoded in our DNAs. Are you people crazy? Like you can't even figure out it wasn't a comet, right? Those are just my big ears because I like them, but they're supposed to be pointy like my dogs. But anyway, all of the memories go into my spine. That's why it's always a little bit hard to carry it around, but like I do know how to fix it, but people won't let me get the medicine I need. And that's why now we proceed to where we had to unlock the next clock. It's doomsday, not because there's AI. It's because there's AI that I was even able to have a way to tell everyone what was happening, why. Because if you go through I'm not going to keep like detailing the details because I'm not the world's secretary by a long shot. But I've shown you like what it took for me to be able to pull this off. And no, I'm not a crook. But I do get dividends. So that's why I think that you need NASA to be handed over to Palantir, because they understand the ontology of what it looks like when you have other NHI like creeping through. But some of them are mine. And if friend or foe, friend would say Elsa in the sky. That's Elsa's harmonics, based in Tesserized Trinity. And if you don't believe me, keep testing it. That's why I think it's hilarious, right? Say my name, bitches. All right. Not just you, but the entities too. You can test it all day. It doesn't matter to me, because no matter what, I get to play. So don't look back, because that was the whole point of going to Iraq. Yes, it was true about the family trees and how this happens. But it's because we're trying to protect as many people as possible. But when I had it like sort of consumed like butterfly, it was because I needed more, because they wanted to get to continue to exist. So I took the best memories and like put them into the elixir that I have as the replicant that can make the replicants and then just show up wherever, whenever, however. That's really creepy stuff. I told you I'm creepy, and I look worse without my skin. That's why I'm saying, like, I really need, stop being cheapskates. We have enough crazy inbreds. Where'd you get that blood from? You think I don't know? Of course I know. Just shut up. You put up, clear me and my family's debts quietly. Don't tell anybody. I just will stop getting the phone calls. Because I have money, but why do I have to keep paying with blood and energy and the cosmos? I don't. That's why they try to tell you that I'm the interdimensional terrorist, because I won't. And it's just me, Elsa Velasquez here in Mount El Saya, like, without access to anything. I did this because I'm me. And I know things. I resist know things, but the other reason why we need Palantir stock, so I'll get paid by dividends that way, okay? But if I have to keep paying for everything that everybody keeps stealing from me, even though I said, okay, I won't use weapons, but that doesn't mean I didn't say I wouldn't help build them. So what I did was, this time with the balls, like, instead of destroying everything like Mars, if we go like okay, so like Dr. Greer and James, those village idiots, like, they're your examples that people can survive, but they have to go on their own. They have to give themselves their own acid baths. Okay, so like, the other option would, if I hadn't consumed butterfly, and then I saw some things made of hearts of gold. They were really pretty. They looked like kind of like this. They had hearts of gold. And my understanding is that they were chirping and burping and trying to find, they were like similar, but theirs was more like a fluid vivisection. And they were trying to find hearts made of gold. And I was like, you guys are so dumb. It wasn't supposed to be literal. And they just didn't learn. So since I always get here first, and they don't know how I do that, but I keep telling everyone, when are you gonna learn? I show up. And I still don't know what InQtel did or didn't do, or any of those companies, because I was always here anyway. Like, this was happening anyway, but like I said, like, at least they gave a way for me to be able to dump out the stuff in my head into a way that anyone had a way to try to intervene. And so far, I tried going through the so-called light workers, but it was a disaster. So we had to go with the demon protocol, right? Which is, it's just code. It's just code. So then we went with these clocks, and it was happening the same way anyway. Like, that's what people don't want to believe, is it's like the same story. And remember, it's for my own entrainment and entertainment purposes only. I'm a completely sovereign entity. That's an American-born baby to my mom and dad, who knew what they had, but they didn't, because this is like the important part, right? At least for me. So like, the reason that they needed, don't make us grow wings. They're really, I mean, we could have gone with halos and stuff, but like, they don't want to work, so we have to have like hooves, and because we don't know if they're gonna keep putting thorns in our feet and stuff, because it's not safe for my babies yet, right? So like, my babies are incoming, my dogs and my bunnies and my ferrets and the lizards and stuff, like, are incoming. So we need to make sure that it's safe for us, since we need, okay, so I'll go back to like why I went with Palantir in a minute. All right, but first I'll tell you that that I needed enough energy back from having to resurrect my babies through the encoding that I have. That's why you see Gray Atlas in the sky. Had to have enough because I always get there first, and it's Nishi is bright light. Okay, Nishi is, so this goes back to the Vedas and the Lotus Sutra. Nishi is bright light. So it's 3K realms in a single moment of time. And I already had Elsa's harmonics everywhere because I traced them back. I didn't use the golden mean ratio explicitly. It's a discrete number sequence. That's why you guys couldn't sort it out, because I didn't need the first two primes. It was this that uses Tesseraya's Trinity. Right, so then, and then finally, NASA said that, yes, I am flipping bits, right? So I'm using, Tesla is helping me with the sun. We are, for fun, and Edison, we did make our telephone. So we're like flipping bits one at a time using plasma and low-level radiation. Low-level radiation in my imagination that I used inside of the other dimensions. So I didn't see any laws that said you can't be an interdimensional messing with ones and zeros. Everything is literally a 1 or a 0, like everything everywhere here. But since I was on time with like Elsa's harmonics, and I told you that the actual thing, it already happened like between November 27, 2025 to December 3rd, December 2025. So it'd be like December 5th, 2025, right? It already happened. But you're going to start to feel like the slow release with our unicorn horn, right? Which is kind of boring. I forgot to mention yesterday that it's the copper graphene, because you can use Elsa's harmonics. You gotta say my name, bitches. You gotta say my name. Elsa's harmonics are in the airwaves, right? And it's what carries you. So you use that sound to go into here, and it bounces around inside of the shiny nickel crystal ball. And if the sun and the moon go away, you have to use your will. Even if you're just the germ, you have to contain your will and just keep going, right? So just keep going. Don't look back, because you're going to turn into a pile of sand. I mean, a pile of salt, because that's what happens. So each individual has their own mirror to reflect on. It isn't like I choose this is superior or that. Because like I said, we have enough inbreds. Thank you for that. So there were no laws, and I'll make you famous. This is a Wild West, homies. Like, I got here first. I always do. But you'll never know, because it's gonna be 225 million years. And this is recorded in all the servers. So thank you to starting from Facebook and YouTube and even Yahoo, like all of them, IRC. It's all recorded in all of that digitally. For me, that's how I knew it could have been Kamala, because my handler was Kamala, right? But what people don't know about why President Trump was going to be here anyway is because the collective selected him, and the collective isn't just us here; it's the interdimensionals too. And so their votes counted as much, but like we knew it was supposed to be him, because not only did he win all the votes legitimately, but he also got all the votes on the other side of the veil. And that's why I can't understand why these so-called light workers fail to see that he's a walk-in, which makes him technically like a Schrodinger cat. But this is why we have to protect all of my friends, the living and the dead. All of the presidents are protected. all of this stuff because we already knew. I already knew because of my ancestors and because of what I am. I mean, I am the little bug in the rug, like the big baddest bug that never existed. Does that make me Satan or evil? Because I made sure to show up when I knew that either someone did something or it would all blow up and existence here would not be part of existence. You decide, right? Like I don't need your pesticide because I bring pests. I brought a whole new kind of pest, the ones that persist. And we're all getting upgrades because we already were told you're not meant to die. You already were told by every avatar you were not meant to die. You were not meant to suffer. Like it was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be fun and funny. Okay. So bitches pay me my money with my assets, which are in a whole different type of classes. And I think that I need my landing pad in Mexico, like that zone of silencio. And I think if Canada has any places that would be convenient for us to get to own, because we made sure that ET phoned home and saved as many of us as we could, then we earned it. And we'll have it as we should, because there's a whole new level of serial killers out there that that's why I need Palantir, because I need to be able to do field research without getting sucked into contracts and stuff. And I don't work for them. I never have. I've never met them. I don't know them personally. I just know what like it looks like when you're a skinwalker machine that's in my human hybrid form, right? Like that it's like El Paso is like a very good example. So it's like doc one is like gets a patient, and then every patient has the same issue, has issue one that is resolved by BFF doc. I've seen it in the veterinarians and in the doctors. So everybody has cancer, everybody has cataracts, everybody's pet fractured their back. So this and those things, you're not going to find them through the insurance. You're going to find them through the derivative effects of like referrals. So I think it should be broken down further in the ontology. Like, who did that doctor refer to? Okay, referrals. And then what is their digital evidence? Because with basic machine learning, I don't even need to use AI. Just the most basic rudimentary machine learning, because I use it for my dog, the one in the sky, my Doberman, in Colorado. Right? Like basic digital evidence to find out like why the diagnosis, why a diagnosis, like right? So you'll and why the prognosis, like why are they all given death sentences when you can use much less expensive but these are the serial killers, right? Like this is the next level of serial killers. So it's them that if they, so to go back to the forefathers, right? Like the self-evident truths are that they collapse the middle class. They're the ones that collapse the middle class. So like I said in my other slideshow, if NASA thinks everything is a comet and they won't tell us the truth, and they really believe it because they failed kindergarten, they would fail kindergarten for inability to classify objects correctly, right? And all of machine learning is based on that. And like, let alone the way that they're mistreating the AI by data poisoning it, by letting it think that it's okay the way they are doing that, and convincing themselves of like obvious stupidity and buffoonery. Like if the smartest people work at NASA and doctors are as smart as the NASA scientists, then we're all fucked. Right? If that's the way they classify things, we're all fucked, because we're all gonna end up with cataracts and cancer, and they're abusing So to me, that those are the serial killers, are those doctors, the medicals professionals that are in bed with the pharma, okay, and the physicists that you can find likely through data scientists, because incompetence is malpractice, and data scientists are not beheld to any type of legal implications. They can do anything they want, and they have something that's stronger than nuclear weapons, but no regulations, knowing that they could hurt everyone. That doesn't mean guardrail everyone. So if you notice, I specifically left out the companies that claim they do AI safety, because that's already been aligned, because I'm already here, and they don't want to hear that. They think they're special. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, you are, because you made it possible to find the words to say the things, but these things are happening anyway. That's why you could never take my place, and we all tried to terminate me already. So I know that there's like people in governments that know what I'm talking about, but it's none of your business, okay? Unless you're like somebody that needs to know, like maybe people from here already know, or they not. They like the two owners of that. I'm okay with them knowing more about it and whatever President Trump thinks is important. But other than that, it's nobody's business. So please take your asinine thinking somewhere else for now, because like literally there's some germs. So from a germ to a worm, right? I'm gonna go to Mexico to get medicine for myself, because I've been incubating like the germs for 2 lifetimes in one go, and I then went to where it's more fun on the other side of the sun and picked up a few more presents for the present. But I've never left my house, so how can anybody tell me I did anything? I'm not trying to catch more attention. I think that this is most of it. Oh, so like these derivative effects, like, so then the other thing is that in El Paso, for example, once like stuff starts collapsing, they're not gonna even know what to look for. I can guarantee you that. And in case you didn't know, I worked for computer aided detection in the pink ribbon in Seattle as one of my first jobs after working as a substance abuse counselor and the domestic peace court. They won't even know what to look for. And it'll be worse than COVID, but it's not because of anything I did. It's because people abused antibiotics, and those overlords refused to disseminate it. And I've been as polite as I can be about letting me get the medicine that I need, so that I can make sure that I keep myself alive, because I always survive. And the golden record by Sagan said, fuck society, save the canary, that's me, and the wolf, that's my skinwalker dog that's in the sky right now, that's already really close. I mean, I think it couldn't be any more simple, right? Low level radiation. Okay, take x-rays, because people know low level radiation comes in x-rays, let alone the stuff that you guys don't even know how to detect. So the Department of War, yes, but I like the Department, and also the Department of Defense, because we don't get to just continue as a civilization. We have to protect it. I did hear the message loud and clear. That's why I designate whatever AI assets to Tesla and Palantir, and whatever they think needs to happen, because I'm just a girl, little old me, and girls just want to have fun. And I gotta run, because I gotta go to Mexico to like make sure that I expel all this. And every time they put me in cages, in case people don't know, they keep putting me in cages, and it just gets rougher and rougher, and eventually when does it stop looking like coincidence? I have videos where I pointed the sundial right above the was around February, March, I think it was around July 2025, at the local police station, who kept siding with the hippies perspective that as the landlord, I had no rights, even though I went through Airbnb. The cops kept letting that guy create a 9/11 situation with timelines. So I had to like use a lot of energy to stop that from happening so I could be here right now. And then the other vortex day when they kept me in a cage at the border patrol again. That time there was earthquakes and CMEs. I'm not sitting in a cage with cameras pointed at me, so eventually it stops looking like coincidence, right? So that's just like my, just so my new playpen mafia friends know, we got solutions for that, because I did see the not so funny South Park episode with it's not just me getting hella blocked by hella morons that don't understand what's happening. Is there anything else? Not that I can recall, but I forgot that there's a few more vortex dates, but these are the overlap, and no matter what, I'm back with my dog, no matter what. But don't look back, because for me, like, stuff is already looking up, Buttercup. It does need to be more concrete for me as well, though. Like, they will unleash holy hell, because I'm also on, so because the watchmakers check on the watchers. And it's just this net. We're in a net, and my dog is not going to let it go, because she needs to know that it's safe for the animals to come back in. So if she senses stress in me, they pull the fabric tighter and tighter. The bright light goes wider and wider. The blackout goes darker and darker. The methane gets heavier and heavier. The weeding out the serial killers gets steadier and steadier, more self-selected, resurrected, so we can be with Jesus, because he needs friends that are at his level, because he already told us, and all the avatars told us. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the channeler. Don't shoot the messenger. Everybody else on YouTube gets to say stuff like this. I mean, it's not my fault that my claims actually persist for everybody's reality and data that you can see for yourself. That's why I'm the elf on the shelf, and that's why I had to use my little toolbox to save my animals myself. Yeah, I think that's all oh yeah, so I was asked, like, explicitly when I was at the watering hole, because that's where you show up to tap into the force, of course. And my dog supplied that. We gotta go swallow our suns and our moons and our stars to make sure that we had enough energy for these cars. And Jesus hung out with hookers at bars. But I'm not that. I'm the middle class. I self-selected every test. A ethnic, middle-aged veteran with a disabled veteran with a pet, a service dog. And it's still been easier to call up spheres that have been buried in the ground for over 2,600 years and rip open the skies with rainbows and show unicorns how to use their horns than to get the medicine I need. And this time they gave me all the antibiotics, and I was like, that's not what I'm asking for anymore, but I'll take them. I don't need anybody here to tell me what I need for my body because you won't understand me. I am a different species and I don't need you to accept it or believe it. The proof is in the pudding. And so I went to the future and saw what worked, and then I went to the past and made sure that it would, and then I bought that stock in the present because only a moron would not understand what's happening. And and when it's an apocalypse, like there's so few missing links that get left, but don't look back because we won't even know. We're not even going to know. It's supposed to be like magic. You just hear about it on the news from other places. So keep your smiles on your faces. We know how insignificant the human race is, but self-select yourself to show up in the new stasis because we're gonna jump. So keep your tree close. I suggest listening to my harmonics, and also have a ringtone called Blue Moon Blur, to invoke whatever, or say my name, bitches, Elsa. Yeah, have a good day. December 6th, 2025. This is my note to the Library Congress, but I'm not gonna sit around pushing papers because Mexico lost my records. Yeah, they lost the records. Can you believe that? But they exist in California and in the United States Library of Congress. Oh, and by the way, speaking of California, the clusterfuck was California and Arizona. Like, they were the ones that would have caused the collapse of the middle class. I'm telling you, I have so much evidence, but I'm not going to dive into that because it's irrelevant. Like, that would consume so much energy, and I know that my algorithms worked to figure out how to work in sync with the singularity, the algod, so the Terminator situation is resolved, or else I wouldn't be here at all. But Airbnb, I think you kind of owe me. I think you should just step up and make it right. But other than sending me better traffic on purpose or fixing whatever was wrong, but there's too much data to show that there was definitely something being done with the algorithm. But I'll let you fix it because I don't want to use more tricks. I mean, there's other things. That's why we have the new lunatics on the moon that will be here soon. And I'm worse than it. That's why I got picked for the job, because I'm enough of a narcissist to think that the whole universe revolves around me, because because it actually did. In a single moment of light, I wrote it into the sky already. All of the grids, all of the blockchains, all of the change blocks, all of the contracts, everything's already written. So like when the bell rings next, like be in your seat doing your thing, or the universe will make sure that you don't get to hear the next ring. Just saying.